3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Welcome back to Let's Talk About Investing. If this is your first time seeing one of our videos, I'd like to personally welcome you in to one of the best YouTube financial channels out there. My name is Kieran, and I want to say Happy New Year's to everyone, to you and your family. We have made it out of 2020. Listen, there's no jokes aside when you say 2020 was a crazy year. Now we're in 2021 and we're going to start off real strong. Whether you're accomplishing fitness goals or you're improving your mental health or you're working on your finances, because that's exactly why you clicked on this video, for financial abundance. So in this video, we're going to talk about the top 8 high yield accounts for 2021 that was just published by Nerdwallet. So let's get started. Before we begin to start talking about the top 8 high yield accounts, we should first define what is a high yield account. Okay, so what is a high yield account? A high yield account is going to give you a higher interest rate than the national average. So right now, according to Nerdwallet, the national average is a 0.05% interest rate. Doesn't matter how much money you put in there, you're really going to get cents and dollars. Now, if you go for a high interest rate, a high yield account, I should say, then you can get 0.50% interest rate with your money. So you're going to get a higher yield of money returned back to you. If you have $10,000 in there over a certain amount of time, you can get for over a year, you can get up to like $50, right? Which sounds really great versus getting, 85 cents. Listen, the point is to make your money work for you, and the banks are reinvesting in your money. You need to get the most out of it as well. So choosing the right financial organization to align your account with, to align your hard money with, is essential to jumpstart into 2021. So let's get started. So this is what we're going to start off with. It's going to be pretty similar format. We're going to talk about the interest rates. We're going to talk about the minimum deposits. We're going to also talk about how much it is to open up those accounts. So, hey, now the first one we're going to start going off about is the FNB Direct. Now, I'm looking at my notes, obviously, because I want to make sure I give you guys the right information. So with the FNB Direct, the interest rate is a 0.40%. Their monthly fees, there's no monthly fees on check-ins or savings. The minimum to open it up is $1. 55,000 surcharge-free ATMs, which is great, right? So you want to make sure that you're able to take money out without having those charges or saying, hey, we're going to charge you an extra $3 for taking the money out because you're not a part of this financial institution. So that's really good as well. The check-ins account earns an interest rate, and then they also provide customer service, which is 24/7. So if you run into a jam or something you're really trying to figure out and you're trying to do something with your money and your business, well, I wouldn't say your business, but you're trying to get your money right, it's really good to pick up the phone and be able to speak to somebody no matter what time it is. But there are some cons. So according to Nerdwallet, one of the cons is there's no branches. To me, that's not really a big deal. I don't really go into the banks, and especially during a pandemic, nobody's going to really wants to go into a bank anyway. But that's just me personally. The other con that they have is they have a very high overdraft fee. The overdraft fee is $33. Now that's pretty expensive if you ask me. FNB Direct, they do offer a very good interest rate. So you should definitely check out the bank, take a look at it, see exactly what you feel about that. And then you can also look up Nerdwallet as well and also find the same information that I'm providing to you. The next bank that we're talking about is the Axos Bank. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that wrong, but AXOS Bank. Now, Axos Bank, their interest rate is at a 0.61%. That's 0.61%. That's pretty high, right? I'm wondering why they're so low. So let's figure this out. There's a zero monthly fee. It's $250 to the deposit requirement. There's zero minimum balance requirements. And then they have 24/7 customer service. Their cons are they only have 2 branches, but as I said previously, that doesn't really bother me. So Axos Bank seems like a pretty good bank if you ask me. Now let's dive into bank number 6, which is the CIT Bank. Now their interest rate is a 0.50%. They have no fees for check-ins or savings. The minimum is $100 to open up money markets. The money market account, you can earn 0.50% no matter your balance, right? Which is really essential. A lot of times you'll see that you earn a certain interest amount, but then they'll drop it down if you have under a specific minimum balance. Some banks will say, hey, we're going to give you 0.60% interest rate, but you need to have over $10,000 over it. The fact that they're doing that, no matter what your balance is really great. So kudos to CIT Bank. That's really good that they're doing that. It's really helping people out during a pandemic, that they're keeping their interest at the same level no matter what you have. Another cool thing that they offer is Zelle and PayPal. So if anybody has used Chase, then they know exactly what Zelle is. It's a really good feature where you can transfer money, you could pay people. If your friend needs money, you can send them money through that way as well. So that's really cool. But they do have some cons. So there's no free ATM network. A lot of all these online banks, they have affiliation, so this way their clients, you and I, can say, okay, we can go to these certain banks and then take out money without being charged. They don't have any of that. They have a high minimum deposit for checking, $250. To be honest with you, I don't feel like that's really a bad amount to be deposited. And then there's also an overdraft fee of $25. So, $25 can definitely hit your pockets. I'd rather keep my $25. But CIT Bank doesn't seem too bad, to be honest with you. Now, the next bank we're going to go into is PurePoint. PurePoint, their interest rate is at a 0.40%. There's no monthly fees. Must have a balance over $10,000 to get the 40% interest rate. I literally was just talking about that. If not, if you don't have over $10,000 in your balance, then your interest rate is going to drop down to 0.10%. That's one of the good things that CIT Bank was doing, that they were able to say, okay, we're going to give you that 0.50% no matter what, versus what PurePoint is doing, they're going to drop it down to 10%. But let's see what else they're doing as well. So they have no checking account. They have a high minimum deposit requirement, which is $10,000. PurePoint, we're in a pandemic, man. What are you doing? There's no ATM and there's no branches. Not concerned about the branches. Me personally, I don't really care. The whole fact that they're doing $10,000 for a minimum deposit, yeah, that's going to make me move on. I'll be completely honest with you, and a lot of other people. So let's move on to the next bank. The next high yield account that you can work with is from Nationwide. So Nationwide is offering 0.70%. There's no monthly fees. The minimum to open it is $100, which is something that's doable. And in order to get the 70% interest, you need to deposit $1,000 a month into a checking account. Otherwise, if you don't, it drops down to 0.40%. So as we were stating before, I stated this twice, where they'll give you a certain threshold and say, okay, you can get this interest rate, and they'll bring you in with that. That's like their that cake for you to be like, oh man, yeah, I really want it, and then next thing you know, they drop it down. So you want to make sure that you're depositing $1,000 every month. If you're able to do that, then this might be a good look. That's 0.70%. That's a really good interest rate. And then they also have a large ATM network plus domestic ATM fee reimbursements. So that's good. So at least you're not going to be charged when you're pulling out your money. And then the cons are, and I don't know why Nerdwallet has as a con, but everybody's different. They only have one branch. Low rates on certificate deposits, and then they have a $25 overdraft fee, which can be charged up to 3 times a day. So if you get hit with an overdraft fee and you run into that situation multiple times, the max is going to be $75. So keep that in mind as well. Next bank we're on is Alliant Credit Union. So credit unions most of the time they offer better services in terms of rates and offers than other banks, because credit unions are just, they're managed a little bit different. So with Alliant Credit Union, their interest rate is at a 0.55% interest rate. The minimum balance is $100. There's no monthly fee if you elect e-statements. Why not? Get everything through your email, which is much better than, having to open up mail. And then there's more than 80,000 free ATMs, which is a huge network for you to be able to just go and get your cash and make sure it's accessible for you whenever you need it. You can open up multiple saving accounts. This is the one I really like though. Open up multiple saving accounts online if you want to, and this is really great. I think it's up to 19 accounts that you can have under yours, which is great because then you can open up an account for your kids. And then you can also say, hey, listen, teach them, the value of money, and then also teach them how to save. With me, I have a 2-year-old, so he's not going to be worried about anything with saving accounts. He's too busy, messing up the living room. but that's a whole nother story. Now, some of the cons that Alien Credit Union has is that their overdraft fee is $28. So that's pretty steep. One of the other banks we were talking about earlier, which was Nationwide, their overdraft fee was $25. And then also CIT, their overdraft fee was $25 as well. So Alien Credit Union is a little bit higher, but then that's just that one fee versus Nationwide is up to 3 different times. Alien Bank seems like a really good bank. Depends on your situation. If you have kids, I think that, that might be one of the reasons why you might lean towards them, because they are providing you those multiple different accounts, and you can provide nicknames to accounts for your kids, so that this way that you could teach them to also see exactly what they're saving and how they're utilizing their money. So that's really a good thing. All right, now we're up to Markets by Goldman Sachs. Their interest rate is 0.50%. They have a 0 minimum balance. There's no monthly fees. And then you can do transfers up to $100,000 for the day. So listen, I know some of you are thinking, "Ooh, up to $100,000. Don't worry. In this channel, we're all a family. We're all growing, and we're going to get to that point of saying, hey, $100,000, this might be something that you're going to be looking into, because you're going to have that abundance of money. Now, some of the cons that they have is there's no checking accounts or ATM network. So, I mean, a no checking account, it's a high yield savings account. I'm not too worried about that. But then there's no ATM network. So that means every time you take out your money, you're going to get hit. And then you need an external account for transferring money, which I don't even mind. If you're working a 9 to 5 like me, you have your, whatever, your Chase or your Bank of America, or whoever you're banking with. And then what you'll do is just connect it to your Marcus Goldman Sachs high yield account. And then you could transfer most of your money there. And then when you do need to have, take out some money, transfer it right back over, and then use that card and then utilize it to take out your money. So there's ways to get around the system. Remember, use the banks for your advantage, because that's exactly what they're doing for you. The last one that we're up to, and this is a top bank, according to Nerdwallet, is American Express High Yield Savings Accounts. So what's the interest rate? 0.50% interest rate. Now, there's no monthly fees. There's no high minimum account, and there's a 24/7 customer service, which is great. One of the things that I think all banks should really make sure that they're doing is, in this day and age, is 9 to 5s people are working all around the clock more than ever. Being able to, get on the phone and speak to somebody is very essential. So I really like that American Express is giving a 24/7 customer support, because some high yield savings accounts are saying, hey, you have to call between this time and this time. So it might be like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then you have to just wait. If something happens after, that time frame, then listen, you're just gonna have to wait for the next day. So I like that. Some of the cons is there's no checking account option, can't deposit any cash. And this one, I don't even know how they even last this long, but there's no mobile apps for the banking, which I don't even know how that's even possible during this day and age. But, hey, listen, they're giving a really great interest rate, and there's no monthly fees, and, it's not a high minimum not high minimum account balance. They're number one, according to Nerdwallet. To me, I'm just looking at this list and just thinking about it, I really like Nationwide, that 0.70%, and then also being able to deposit $1,000 into that checking account. To me, that's one that I feel like I would go with, and then not even have to worry about the overdraft fee. If you're using the high yield account, you might just use it as a dumping center for some of your money, and then this way you could just earn interest versus just using your money in one of these brick and mortar banks and you're earning 0.05%. Doesn't really make any sense to me. So I think that the high yield accounts are definitely another strategy of making more money and making your money work for you. So I think that that's one of the best things that you can do for 2021. Okay, so if you're accustomed to this channel, if you're new to this channel, just so you know, we always do a motivational word for the week. And the motivational word for this week is: today more than ever, most of us can no longer count on a lifetime job, large pensions, or Social Security to guarantee our financial stability. 2020 has taught us that there's been job losses, deaths, all types of different things that have happened, right? Some things are out of our control, but then there are certain things that we can do to provide a better future, even though we cannot always predict it. And being able to come up with different strategies and saving your money is one of the key essentials for a rainy day. In this case, a rainy year. So, it's really important that you come up with different strategies and different ways of, saving your money, and then also coming up with different ways of making money at the same time. The days of, having a job for 40 years and starting, moving your way up in a company and then, leaving in retirement are no longer. Companies are coming up and going away within 5 years. Keep that in mind for the motivational word, because it is very essential for all of us in the next couple of years, because things are even going to get even more crazier with computers and automation and new technologies that are going to be coming out. So that wraps up the 8 high yield accounts for 2021. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, stay positive, stay motivated, and most of all, stay safe. Thank you.